As soon as you load up the application window displays PowerPoint in what we call normal view. Normal view is displayed by default because it's the main view you use while creating your presentation. Normal view has four working areas. It has the outline tab, the slide tab, the slide pane, and then the notes pane. The slide tab displays each slide as a thumbnail. Whereas the outline tab displays each tab in outline form. The slide pane displays the selected slide, while the notes pane will add an area where you can add lecture notes. Also located in our application window, we're very familiar with the ribbon. We learned about this in Microsoft Word 2007, where we have our tabs at the top and our groups down below, and then below that we have our workspace. At the bottom we have our status bar, our different views, and our zoom tools. A slide is an individual page of your presentation. The first slide of your presentation is the title slide, which is used to introduce your presentation. Additional slides are used to support each main topic in your presentation. The slide gives the audience a visual summary of the words you speak, which helps them understand the content and keeps them entertained. The slides also help you, the speaker, organize your thoughts and prompt you during the presentation. Let's start working with slides. The slide is the most basic building block for any PowerPoint presentation. And when you turn on PowerPoint 2007, by default the first slide that you see is the title slide. The title slide is used to introduce your presentation. We're going to build a quick PowerPoint presentation, a short one, only consisting of 3 slides. So the first thing I want to do is introduce my presentation, the topic. So I'm going to click to add the title. And click to add subtitle. Here what I'm going to do is introduce myself. Who's going to be the presenter? Before I move on, I want to select the first title and I want to change the font to a smaller font, only because I want it to show up all on one line. From here, what I want to do is now create a second slide, because what I accomplished in the first slide is introduce the topic and who is going to be presenting the topic. So I'm going to go up to New Slide, and it displays all the different types of slides that you could insert. You can insert another title slide, title and content, section header, to contents, comparison, and so on. So my next slide is going to be title and content. So I click on it and it inserts a new slide with the layout for title and content. So now I'm ready to create my next slide. In this slide, what I want to do is introduce the topics covered in class. So I'm going to click on the title, simply topics covered, click to add text below. The topics being covered is Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel. After I'm done adding the topics covered, I could do some basic editing. I can select the topics, change the line spacing to double space, and I could drag down on the fill handles so I can center the topics in the middle of the page. And now it's time for another slide. Again, we're going to go up to New Slide, drop down the arrow, and then we have a choice of choosing from any of these different styles of slides. I'm going to choose the title and content again. And you can see it inserts a new slide. Now I'm going to use this slide to present how I'm going to calculate your grades for this course. So I'm going to click on to add the title and put in grades determined by, and all the different areas in which you will be graded. Discussion board, the assignments, quizzes, tests, and presentation. Now that's a basic introduction into creating slides. As we go through the rest of the chapter, we're going to learn how to format, manipulate, move around, and actually run our PowerPoint presentation. Okay, now that we learned how to edit the content of a slide, we're now going to learn how to manipulate the slides themselves. For example, we're going to learn how to delete a slide, move a slide, and copy a slide. Okay, now deleting slide is easy. We could do it either in the slide tab or the outline tab. Let's choose the slide tab. We're going to select slide 3, then go up to our group slides in the ribbon, and then choose delete slide. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to move slide 6 above slide 4. Now we could do it in the slide sorter, or we could do it right here by clicking, holding, and dragging until our indicator moves just right above slide 4, and then we're going to let go and it drops the slide right there. Now I'm going to make a copy of slide 4, and it's just like doing copy and pasting of text like we learned in Microsoft Word. We select a slide, we're going to click on copy, we're going to position where we want to paste it by clicking just below slide 4, and then we're going to hit paste, therefore making a duplicate copy of slide 4. Layouts define the position and format for objects and text that will be added to a slide. A layout contains placeholders for different items such as bulleted text, titles, charts, graphics, and so on. For example, there are text layouts that include placeholders for the title and bulleted text, and content layouts that include placeholders for a table, diagram, chart, or clip art. You can change the layout of an existing slide by selecting a new layout. If the new layout does not include placeholders for objects that are already on your slide, for example, if you created a chart, the new layout does not include a chart placeholder. You do not lose the information. All objects remain on the slide, and the selected layout is automatically adjusted by adding the appropriate type of placeholders for the object. Alternatively, as you add new objects to the slide, the layout automatically adjusts by adding the appropriate type of placeholder. You also can rearrange, size, and format placeholders on a slide any way you like to customize the slide's appearance. In this example, what we're going to do is we're going to insert a new slide as the title layout, and then we're going to change it to a to content layout. So first what we're going to do is we're going to position our cursor in between slide 7 and slide 8, and then we're going to insert new slide. We're going to call it title slide, and it really doesn't matter for this example because we're going to change it right away anyways. And let's say for example you did this in error, or you had a change of heart and you wanted to change the layout of this current slide. What you can do is go up to the Home tab, the Layout button, drop that down, and then change it to content. And now we can start adding the text. Now after you have finished typing in all the text, you can start modifying the layout by playing around with the sizing handles on the text boxes. Every time you position your mouse over the sizing handles, it tells you which direction you can move it. Now the sizing handles will increase the text box size. It doesn't move it. If you want to move it, you have to position yourself over any of the borders of the text box, not the sizing handles, because that just stretches the text box. If you go over any of the borders, the lines on the text box, you'll get this four-way direction icon, and that allows you to move the text box. At some point when you're working with your PowerPoint presentation, you may be finished and you want to see how it's going to look to your audience. Or you might be just at a certain point where you just want to see how it looks so far. And what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to use another display. It's called a slideshow. And that's what you're going to use when you want to rehearse your presentation, whether it's complete and you want to just see its completed version, or like I said before, if you get to a certain point and you just want to see what it looks like so far. To rehearse our presentation, we can execute this in slideshow in two different ways. We can go down to the status bar and click on slideshow, or we can go up to the slideshow tab and execute it from the beginning or from the current slide. Our current slide is the first slide because we can see that it's selected. So now we're going to run our presentation using slideshow from the beginning. To advance the slide, we can do two things. We could click on the mouse button, or we can hit the page down key. If somebody asks a question and asks you to go back to the previous slide, we can hit the page up key.